remember when I was a kid and my birthday would roll around. It was always a special time. My parents would let me skip school. My mom would let me have cake for breakfast, which is a tradition that I still keep to this day. And I'd get a special gift or two. Sometimes it was toys or art supplies, but the gifts that I loved most were books, and that's still true today. So this year, to celebrate another trip around the sun, I bought myself my tried and true favorite gift, books. Today we'll talk about just a few, as these all fit within a theme. For every birthday of mine, I like to set an affirmation for that year, and this time around, mine was related to romance and partnership. And I think these 3 books all about Black love will help me to manifest love into my life. So let's get into it. The first book on the list is Blackout, and this one is fun because it's actually a collaboration between 6 different writers: Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, and Nicola Yoon. The book summary reads, "A summer heat wave blankets New York City in darkness, but as the city is thrown into confusion, a different kind of electricity sparks. A first meeting, longtime friends, bitter exes." Ooh, that is a favorite trope of mine, bitter exes. "And maybe the beginning of something new. When the lights go out, people reveal hidden truths. Love blossoms, friendship transforms, and all possibilities take flight. 6 beloved best-selling and award-winning authors bring the glowing warmth and electricity of Black teen love to an interconnected novel of charming, hilarious, and heartbreaking stories that shine a bright light through the darkness." What I think is really special about this book that the inner cover doesn't really capture super well is that the book follows 13 teenagers through 6 interlinked stories. All of the events unfold over the course of a single day, and I wonder if that's Nicola Yoon's doing, because I think at least one of her books follows the same premise where everything happens in one day. I really like books like that, and I would love to read more of those, so if you have suggestions, drop them down in the comments section and let me know. One bit that I love from this book was Danielle was talking about how the idea actually came up. She said that in 2020, during the height of you know what, she was binge watching TV shows and movies with her niece. And her niece was asking her why it is that Black girls didn't get big love stories. And she and the other co-authors wanted to write about Black love as opposed to police brutality, which is something that we saw a lot of in that year. She also describes the book as a love letter to New York and to Black teens, and a reminder that their stories and their joy and their love are all worthy of the spotlight. About a month after this book was released, it was announced that it would be adapted into a TV series and a film. It's a project that's going to be produced for Netflix by Higher Ground Productions, which is a production company started by the Obamas. I'm really excited to read this. I took a little peek inside just because I was really curious how the chapters were structured and pulled together, and I had to stop myself because I started to get sucked in. So that's Blackout by 6 wonderful writers, and the next book on the list is 7 Days in June. This is another book that takes place in New York City, and it's written by Tia Williams. It follows 2 writers, which is another trope that I love, a book within a book. So 2 writers who are also former lovers. From the book summary: 7 days to fall in love, 15 years to forget, and 7 days to get it all back again. Oof. Okay, so we're already starting off with a little bit of drama. Eva Mercy is a single mom and best-selling erotica writer who is feeling pressed from all sides. Shane Hall is a reclusive, enigmatic, award-winning novelist who, to everyone's surprise, shows up in New York. Is it a surprise because he's reclusive, or is it a surprise because he hates New York? The city is amazing. When Shane and Eva meet unexpectedly at a literary event, sparks fly, raising not only their buried traumas, but the eyebrows of the Black literati. What no one knows is that 15 years earlier, teenage Eva and Shane spent one crazy torrid week madly in love. While they may be pretending not to know each other, they can't deny their chemistry or the fact that they've been secretly writing to each other in their books through the years. Over the next 7 days, amidst a steamy Brooklyn summer, Eva and Shane reconnect, but Eva is wary of the man who broke her heart and wants him out of the city so her life can return to normal. Before Shane disappears, though, she needs a few questions answered. Girl, what you need answered? With its keen observations of creative life in America today, as well as the joys and complications of being a mother and a daughter, 7 Days in June is a hilarious, romantic, and sexy as hell story of two writers discovering their second chance at love. Every review that I've read for this book describes it as compelling and romantic and complicated, but also with some humor, but also some tough scenes. It's not just a love story, but also one of survival and accepting who you truly are, including all of your flaws. Both of the main characters come from pretty traumatic backgrounds and had to grow and change from lost teenagers to successful adults. What I think is interesting is that the initial fling between these two characters was 7 days, and so was their reconnection. So that part of the title could actually apply to either time, which is kind of cool. This book does have quite a few trigger warnings though, so I would say that if you too choose to read it, you should check out the trigger warnings website, and I'll leave a link for that down in the description. Okay. So we've gone from a book that spans the course of one day to a book that spans the course of 1 week. And now we're going to talk about a book that spans the course of an entire year, and that is Open Water. This is a debut novel by Caleb Azuma Nelson. He says that this book actually started as a collection of nonfiction essays, and he was just writing about things that he really found interesting at that time. Photography and music and Blackness and love and freedom, and where freedom can be found for Black people, and what spaces can house that freedom even if it's fleeting. It was his agent who encouraged him to write a novel, and that's what Open Water became. The book summary reads, "In a crowded London pub, two young people meet. Both are Black British. Both won scholarships to private schools where they struggled to belong. Both are now artists. He, a photographer. She, a dancer. And both are trying to make their mark in a world that by turn celebrates and rejects them. Tentatively, tenderly, they fall in love. But two people who seem destined to be together can be torn apart by fear and violence, and over the course of a year, they find their relationship tested by forces beyond their control." Narrated with deep intimacy, Open Water is at once an achingly beautiful love story and a potent insight into race and masculinity that asks what it means to be a person in the world that sees you only as a Black body, to be vulnerable when you are only respected for strength. With gorgeous, soulful intensity and blistering emotional intelligence, Caleb Azuma Johnson gives a profoundly sensitive portrait of romantic love in all its feverish waves and comforting beauty. Some things that I think are really interesting about this book is that the entire thing is told in second person. It is full of you statements, so you really start to feel like you are one of the two protagonists in the book, whom are also unnamed. I've obviously not read it yet, but this almost feels like a metaphor for, and this is even mentioned in the book summary, for how the world often sees Black people as just bodies. And that's even reflected in these two characters not having names. And this isn't a new concept, right? We have to remember that when slaves were brought to America from African countries, they oftentimes had their heads shaved in an effort to strip them of their identity and of their culture. Similar to how these two characters have been stripped down to just their professions, really. I'm really curious how much more of their identities we'll get to know over the course of the book. I am so excited to read these. I love that all of these books are about Black love and written by Black authors. It makes me so happy. I have no idea which one I'm going to start with, but maybe Blackout, since it features one of my favorite book tropes and one of my favorite book structures. If you've made it this far in the video, leave a birthday cake emoji down in the comment section and let me know what your favorite birthday gifts are. If you even like getting gifts for your birthday, or if you even like celebrating your birthday. I don't want to make assumptions here. If you're interested in some of my other favorite books that I gave 5 stars, you can watch this video where I react to 1-star reviews of them on Goodreads. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.